It's Friday, April 12th, 2013, and let's talk about what happened this week over at xdadevelopers.com. In reality, it's Thursday, but I actually have to head out of town right now, and I'm probably not going to be back until sometime next week, so I probably will not be with you Monday, so I thought I'd go ahead and put this together for you now. Starting things off, we generally tend to focus on Android and sometimes Windows Phone here, but one thing that doesn't get a whole lot of love is Firefox OS. Firefox OS, if you do not remember, is Mozilla's attempt to make a mobile operating system, and so far it's not received a lot of support. However, there was a story that hit the portal this week that did relate to that. XDA recognized developer Cute Prince has come up with a Firefox OS port for the HTC Explorer. Now, as you would expect with something like this, it is still to be considered very early alpha. The not working list includes things like SIM card detection, USB mass storage, video recording, and Bluetooth. So for some people they're going to be daily driver breakers, and for some people it's really not going to make that big of a difference. The SIM card thing is going to be the big thing, but apparently there have been some users reporting that they were able to get it working, so make sure to read through the forum thread if this is something that interests you and if you have the HTC Explorer to try it on. And speaking of HTC, we've talked about them quite a bit in the past. I did a video on the HTC Droid DNA not too long ago. Well, another story came out this week about HTC, specifically talking about how they've released a bunch more source code for their devices, specifically a couple of variants of the HTC One, and the HTC Droid DNA has had its source code updated. Now that said, the source that's been released for the HTC One, I looked at their site and the only ones I saw were Vodafone, so it's not all of the carriers at this point. But at the same time, I don't believe the HTC One has been released for all the carriers, so not quite as big of a deal yet. The fact that they just released the Droid DNA updated source code is nice, but again, not in GPL compliance. It's one of those things where when you release a device, just go ahead and release the source code. If you take the time to strip out things that you don't want the public to see, then it's not open source like it's supposed to be. But one way or another, it is still very nice to go ahead and see that source code becoming available, and I believe, like I said, the HTC One either has not been fully released yet, or just some of them haven't been released yet, so it's nice to see the source code coming out for some of them, and they did say that more would be coming in the coming weeks, so that does mean the community can go ahead and get started working on things for the HTC One if they were not already, and they can work on more updated things for the Droid DNA, although, like I said, I don't think the DNA has that much community support, unfortunately. Now, a couple of forum-related updates. First up, the XDA forums now has app developer forums, so if you're an app developer, you don't necessarily want to put your app-specific stuff in just general or in a specific device forum, you can now put it in the app developer forums. And apparently that's not really the entire intention for the app developer forum. It's to help aspiring developers. So if you're someone who wants to post tutorials, or if you want to go there to try to learn, in addition to using the XDA University site, which I haven't heard anything out of in a while, this is a good place for that as well. I've kind of figured that this was going to be to help promote apps and to work on app development, and I guess that kind of goes hand in hand. You know, you can work on your applications there, but you can also learn about how to develop applications or help teach other people how to make their own applications. One way or another, brand new set of forums, go ahead and take a look at it. And additionally, some new forums were open for, again, some HTC stuff. The HTC First, which is a Facebook phone, the HTC One variants, and NVIDIA's Project Shield. Still very excited to hear more about the Project Shield. I can't say that often enough. Additionally, there were two other videos posted to XDA Developer TV this week. The first one was an Instagram app shootout from Steve talking about the versions for Windows Phone OS, which there wasn't one, iOS, and Android. And then later in the week, Kevin put out a tutorial about Dash Clock, showing you how to put things on your lock screen. So if you have a lock screen that needs some love, definitely go take a look at that video as well. But that's going to be all from me for today. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to receive our content as soon as it becomes available. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again probably next Friday. I'm sure somebody will fill in the time being. Bye, guys.